Before I ever stepped into that crumbling data center for my first day as an IT repair technician, I never imagined a routine job would turn into a mystery that haunts me to this day. I was called in for a simple fix, a malfunctioning server in an old industrial building on the outskirts of town. It was supposed to be a straightforward repair, but nothing about that day was ordinary. I pulled up to the address, and what I saw was a decrepit, rusted structure that looked abandoned for decades. A gaunt, expressionless security guard reluctantly let me inside. The silence was oppressive, only the low hum of ancient machinery and the occasional creak of metal broke the stillness. I navigated through narrow, shadow-filled hallways until I reached the server room. Under the harsh, flickering fluorescent lights, I began my work, only to find that nothing was wrong with the wiring or the connections. The server wasn't even powered on. I called out for the guard, but he only mumbled something incomprehensible before disappearing into the darkness. Then, as I worked, I heard it, a slow, rhythmic tapping, like the clatter of keys on an old keyboard, echoing from behind me. My heart hammered as I spun around, but there was no one there, just a long, empty corridor swallowed by shadows. Determined to uncover the source, I followed the sound to a forgotten office at the back of the building. Inside, abandoned computers sat in disarray, their screens cracked and lifeless, until one suddenly lit up, flashing a single, bone-chilling message: "Leave now, or suffer the consequences." My blood ran cold. I didn't hesitate, I bolted back to the server room, completed the minimal repair work with shaking hands, and, as I reached for my tools to leave, I heard urgent footsteps echoing down the hall. The security guard reappeared, whispering in a trembling voice that I needed to get out immediately. I didn't question him. I grabbed my gear and sprinted out of that accursed building. Safely in my van, I called my boss to report the ordeal. After a few minutes, I discovered the horrifying twist. The repair call had come from a defunct number linked to an abandoned building. There had never been a scheduled job there at all. I reported the encounter to the local authorities and vowed never to return to that forsaken place. That day taught me a brutal lesson. Sometimes the call of duty leads you into realms where the ordinary blurs into the sinister. It forced me to confront my deepest fears and reminded me that not every shadow hides a simple explanation. If you're brave enough to face the unknown, let your courage fuel your journey, because true strength isn't found in avoiding the darkness, but in charging through it, no matter what.